It's Nick and Mike's top 100 games. But does anyone care what they have to say? I know I don't. Cause they may dab, they might scream, they may say some things that are plain wrong. Dab on it, dab on it. But they are dumb bing bongs. My teacher's better.
What's up, everybody? I'm Mike Murphy.
I am Nick Murphy.
We are the Brothers Murph here on Dice Tower doing a top 100. Dang,
biggest top 100 since.
Everyone else is more popular on the Dice Tower than us. Which is many people. But you know what? It's still popular.
Yeah.
And we're still going to give our opinions.
Yeah.
Anyway, so our first segment went pretty well. This is now going to be the second segment. So this is going to be numbers 90 to 81.
Yes.
The hotness now.
This is for the games that get good.
Yeah, the first 10, those are sad games.
Garbage.
I'll never play those again.
Never.
They're dead to me.
You want to just jump right into it?
I think we should jump
You want
right
a big
into
intro
it.
for this one?
No, just a quick reminder that we are independent bodies who think and feel. And
From each other?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're
not
I'm
one
reminding
being.
myself more than anyone because
yeah.
it's a Rosencrantz Guildenstern situation where I forget who's who sometimes.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, but also I just want to remind everyone, we're not bought.
We're not bought.
We're not bought by nobody.
Yeah. People keep saying we are. It's ridiculous.
I know. Anyway, let's get into this list with number 90.
90.
Nick, do you know what I love doing?
Crosswords.
Questing. Almost the same.
But you like crosswords.
I do love crosswords. Crosswords are very fun. There's several crossword words, and once you get those down, you're good. Like ape appears all the time. It means to mimic. I use that all the time in crosswords. I love that word. But what I love is questing, but I don't like big quests.
Oh, yeah?
Not always. It takes a lot of work and
it's
stuff.
so hard.
I want my quest to be brought down into a nice manageable size, or at least it fits in a manageable box. My number 90 is Tiny Epic Quest.
Okay.
It's weirdly because I was starting to think like it's very small, but it's not. It's kind of a table hog.
It's kind of for what it is. Yes, it's large.
Packages up nice.
Yes,
nice and tight. Tiny Epic Quest is my number 90, dude. It's just so fun. I'm losing, you ever like lose words, but you keep trying to plow through it.
You're like, I'm gonna get
it's
there.
It's so fun. It's really fun, and it's just this cool game where you kind of set out the board, the kingdoms that you're traveling through, and you can fight goblins, and you can go try to learn like spells and tomes and things like that, all in the search of getting like 7 points or something. Yeah, and there's just this cool, I don't know, kind of press your lucky.
Yeah, for sure.
Element to it that I just quite enjoy. I just think it's really fun. We've played that in Tiny Epic Galaxies. I like both quite a lot. And I'm just into the item meeples. Yeah. And they've kind of leaned into that.
They really have. They really have. But hey, it works for them, so I'm down. And the games are cheap. They're $20.
Exactly. They're very affordable, fun games that package down small, if nothing else, which is actually important. Like, hey, save shelf space.
Good choice. Good
so
game.
Tiny Epic Quest is my number 90.
My number 90 is a game called Pie Town. Pie Town is a game by Renegade Games, and you are gathering supplies, and you're making pies, and it's a worker placement game. It's great. And just, the game crushes, man. It crushes. Oh, God, it just freaking crushes. Oh, crushes like crushed soda, man. I love it so much. It's great, man. It's beautiful, and it's worker placement. You know us with worker placement. It's just the best. But you're going to the tree to gather different like berries and apples and stuff to make different pies. And each person has like a secret recipe that only they can do, but you can try to like find out other people's recipes. It's super cute. It's pretty light. It's a good kind of like intro-ish worker placement game. Yeah. But it's just lovely. It's wonderful. And I really like it. I love Pie Town a lot, and Pie Town is my number 90.
I think all it needs is an expansion. Where you can make Orange Crush pie.
Boom. Orange Crush. Oh, come on. Who's not buying that?
It's such an accurate orange flavor.
That's true.
Get it today.
Yes. But let's go on to 89.
89.
Alrighty, 89.
We look like a yin and yang.
Yeah, you do. We do.
Because you're black with some white and white with some black. And this segment is sponsored by Feng Shui. Get spoopy, y'all.
Spoopy?
I don't know.
Odd one. My number 89 is sorry, I forgot it for a second. My number 89 is a little game, a little 2-player game called Hero Realms. Hero Realms. Hero Realms is my number 89. This is a game that like I don't quite understand. There's actually a lot of games on this particular 10.
I don't know why I like it.
No, I'm not sure why we don't play it more than we do, I guess is my thought on it. And I really like this game, but it's a 2-player little deck builder, and it's a deck builder where it doesn't have that slow part in the beginning where you're like building your deck.
Yeah.
You start off this game and you are hot beating the crap out of each other. You don't have to do that like a lot of deck builders, because this game is short and those games are longer.
Yeah.
You start off with a very, very basic deck. You have to slowly build up your deck, and then like halfway through the game, your deck starts getting dope. This one, right off the bat, you can buy a big card, and you can buy a big card and start walloping on each other.
Yeah, because nothing's really that expensive. Like the most expensive thing might be 8.
I think 8, yeah.
But like you're gonna get powerful stuff so that you feel like you're doing like big moves right away.
Right about the bat. And it's super nice. It's a great little game. It's got great art. It's the same game ultimately as like Star Realms, the same thing. We like the fantasy theme better. We actually have both, and we like Star Realms better. Not Star Realms, Hero Realms better personally. I just like the fantasy aspect better. But ultimately, Star Realms, Hero Realms, it's the same game for the most part. But you did get the character pack, so now everyone starts off a little bit different. There's like clerics and wizards and rogues and stuff, and that adds a little bit more to the game, and it just makes it wonderful. I love Hero Realms. It's a great little deck builder. 2 players, wonderful, quick, fun. And yeah, I just like it a lot. That's my 89, Hero Realms.
Nice. My number 89 is a cooperative game. It's a cooperative kind of puzzle-solving game, and it is Rising 5.
Oh!
Runes of Asteros.
Asteris.
And yeah, it's a cool game that uses, by Gray Fox Game, that uses an app to try to basically see if you solved this puzzle correctly. You're trying to get these constellations, these sort of signals or whatever into the right spots. And there's 8 constellations. You're only going to use 4 of them. Then those 4 need to be in specific places. And you're going around to different locations, fighting little monsters, and hopefully get some little abilities that are going to help you out. But it's just really kind of deduction and trying to suss out what information you need and where does it need to go to be useful to you. And it's really fun. It's really hard. I don't know if we've ever won it.
We've never won it, no.
Yeah,
it's tough. And the first time we played it, we lost. And then Gray Fox, we were streaming it on Twitch. And Gray Fox was watching it, and they email us afterwards. They're like, "Hey, you guys played some stuff wrong," and all the stuff we played wrong made it harder. And we were like, "Dang, this is we were playing the easy version, and it's still tough." But I love it. I love that game.
It's really fun. And I just think the use of the app is cool because it uses the camera if you want, and you can kind of line up, and it'll see what you've got there and tell you if it's right. So it'll tell you, hey, this constellation is part of the puzzle, but it is not in the right place. Or these things don't pertain to anything at all. So you can start to deduce, but you can only do that action of checking so many times. It takes a lot of energy and stuff. So you can't just check every 3 seconds. So you have to be really strategic about how you kind of use your resources and everything. And it's just a really fun, cool game that I want to play more of. I'm kind of like Hero Realms. Like, we should probably play it more because it is a really fun cooperative experience that gets you talking.
Yeah, it's really great. Really wonderful game. Good choice.
Yeah, I mean, that's why it's on my list.
Hey, that makes sense.
Because it's a good choice to make good choices.
Should we move on to the 88?
I think we oughta.
88.
Oh, what do you got there?
Dude, it's my new jam. It's my hand-bagged yerba mate.
Oh, God, man. I got that mate right here, dude.
It's so good because it tastes kind of like the earth, but just gets your heart racing.
Like if you just put a bunch of sticks in a cup and then you decided to drink it, dude. But it's got...
but how that gets you
caffeine.
fired up? Like when you used to be a kid, you play with the stick and you try to whack it on a tree as hard as you could.
Yeah, you're like, mate, yerba mate.
Yerba.
Oh, it's good.
Mate. Handbag yerba mate.
Woo!
My number 88 is another cooperative game. I'm a fan of co-ops, Nick.
We're big fans.
I'm a fan of co-ops when you just have to shut it for a second.
Oh.
All right. And this one actually really uses the whole... It's not like you just can't share your information for some reason. No, I like this because this game... Dude, I'm not turning this way because it's not salvageable today. I'm not turning that way because my hair is bad. I need big, sexy hair. I like this game because it gets you to hush for a second.
Yeah.
But it's it's like... It's not just random, like... You're cooperative, but you can't share your information because it's World War I and we're in a trench. We don't know how to talk to each other yet because we're not in touch with our feelings.
Yeah.
It's not like that.
Not like that.
But it's Magic Maze.
So Magic Maze.
You gotta be silent because you're going around a mall. And it's just meant to mess with you, basically. Yeah. So you're all working together to move these pawns around a mall and you're trying to steal. Your magical character is teleporting around trying to steal stuff from a magical mall. And each person is not assigned a pawn, but rather they're assigned like an action.
Like a direction almost, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like I can move pawns in a southward direction. You can move pawns in an eastward direction. Excuse me. So it should be really easy. It's just like, well, we need to go south and east and south and east, but there's 4 pawns and there's no talking. So it could very well happen where I'm only paying attention to these 3 pawns, and over here there's this pawn that needs to go south.
Yeah.
I'm the only person that can fix this problem. And so people need to start trying to get your attention. There's this one red like pawn you can just kind of tap in front of people saying, hey, I need you to focus. But we can't say on what.
Hey.
And so there's inevitably points where people are all looking at you like, and I'm just kind of like.
And then you start panicking, start looking around the board, trying to figure out what you want to do. Yeah.
You know, and you can get to certain time areas where you're also timed. So time's of the essence. And you can get to these certain areas where you can flip the timer over and allow yourself to speak for a minute. But the longer you talk, the more time ticks down. So it's just chaos and really fun.
Yeah.
And it starts off easy. Then each kind of level you do adds some other element that just makes it more and more hard. And it's just super fun. And it'll get you giggling. And you can play up to a lot of people as well, which is really cool. But it plays all the way down to 2 people, really fun.
Yeah, it's a good time. I like Magic Maze a lot, for sure, for sure.
It's good.
All right, my number 88 is a game that I'm almost guaranteeing will be higher up next year because now we play it much, much more often, and that is Wits and Wagers. Wits and Wagers is a great party game where Mike talked about it last list.
Yep.
Where it's a trivia game, but a trivia game where you don't really need to know that much about trivia. You just need to be good at betting. Because essentially, it'll be asked a question of the group, and it's a question with a number, like how many chickens are there in Montana? And then you just have to guess. And sometimes you can make a pretty educated guess. Sometimes you're just straight up swinging in the dark. But then you put it out on a board and you basically have to bet on what answer you think is correct. So you don't have to bet on yourself.
Yeah.
And you can bet on nobody. You can bet on 2 different things. And so you can be like, you know what? I believe in myself. I'm going to bet on myself. You're like, you know what? I believe Joan because Joan knows a lot about chickens and she's from Montana. She was a farmer. And so I'm going to bet on her because I feel like she's going to know more than anyone. Yeah. And it's super fun. You can play this game literally with infinite amount of people. The Dice Tower, they do big Wits and Wagers games at conventions. But we started playing it on stream on Twitch, and we play with the chat, and we let the chat bet. We have a system where you can bet in our chat, and you can use like this fake currency we call Litcoin.
Dang.
And so everyone at home can bet and actually wager their own fake money, and it's super, super fun. And I always really liked the game. We're just not really in that kind of party place to play it, like, you know, and you want to play like 2 people. There's no point.
No.
So now that we play it on stream, though, we're playing it a lot of times like once every week or 2, and it's super so fun, and it's just a blast. I love the concept. Wits and Wagers is just such a great game. It's just such a great game.
Love that game, and it's gonna be way higher on my list for sure.
Because now we're playing it again. It's great.
Yeah, Wits and Wagers, man, good choice.
Yeah,
let's get on to 87.
Woo!
Yerba mate.
87.
What is that?
Oh, it's like Video Deuces, like a little handheld video game thing. Just gonna play it.
Why don't you look up an app? There's guaranteed there's an app for that.
Oh, dude, I'm not like about all that corporation getting tied down by technology. This is all I need right here. Okay, this is my BlackBerry.
Okay.
Aw.
What?
Doesn't do anything. It just plays this one game, and the graphics suck.
Well, they paid us.
Yeah.
Alrighty, 87. My 87, I am guaranteeing will also be higher on my list. We didn't really have a chance to play this very much, but now we have a very good friend in Crookie Crookerson who has it, and that game is Raiders of the North Sea.
Dang!
Raiders of the North Sea is a great worker placement game by Renegade?
Avi?
Yeah, by Renegade Game. It's got really great art, but it's this really interesting worker placement game where you always get to do 2 actions on your turn. You have a little pawn.
Got a full house.
Oh, cool. Okay. Good. You got a little pawn, and you can put your pawn somewhere on the board, one of the spots, and you place your pawn, and you take that action, and then you pick up another pawn from somewhere else on the board, and then you take the action, the one you picked up. So at the end of your turn, you always are left with 1 pawn. And the next turn, you play something, do an action, pick something up, do an action, and there's 3 different colors of pawns, and they can all go in like different spots. Some are like more powerful than other ones. But it's just super cool, super simple in terms of like that. You're just like, you just go here, do that, you pick up, go do that. So it's a very pretty good like intro kind of worker placement. Yeah. But you're also like raiding villages, and you have a bunch of different cards that have a bunch of different like raiders on them and stuff, and they all do different stuff. And it's just a great game. I really also love the look of it, the art, and there's a whole bunch of expansions. There's 2 expansions for this. There's a whole bunch of other games that are like set in this universe.
Yeah.
But they all have the same art, the same look. And although I've heard the other games are not quite as good as this one, I still love the look of it. And I love Raiders of the North Sea. I feel like it's going to be higher because now we're again playing it more, because now. Before we'd always only ever play it if we were like at a convention where they had it
in the library.
Yeah, so now we get to play it more often, and we just got our friend Crook for his birthday one of the expansions. So I'm excited to play that. So I'm guessing it'll be, I don't think it's ever gonna like skyrocket, but I think it'll be higher next year. But I still love the game. 87 is Raiders of the North Sea for me.
Very nice. Now my number 87 is a worker placement game that we don't play very often and has honestly kind of been replaced at this point. But it's really fun, and now hearing about certain expansions, I'm kind of interested again. My number 87 is Caverna.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, it's just, it's...
Well, this is that high for you. I figured it wasn't even in your top 100.
That's the thing about these lists. Sometimes you get surprised by what's on it,
that's
man.
True. I do like Caverna a lot, yeah.
Yeah, I really like it. It's kind of like Super Agricola, right? I mean,
fun,
there's but fun. And so in it, you're working to try to kind of farm and get animals. You're trying to build out a cave system for your dwarf family to live in and grow into, and getting different, just different various modes to score points and stuff. You kind of want to like tame the land and do all these things, and it's just fun because there's a lot of options.
Yeah, to say the least.
And the way that it kind of unfolds as the game goes along, you get kind of more and more things that you can do. So I kind of like that it starts you off a little simple and then gradually
it's nice to teach because you can explain each new section as it come up. You don't have to like do, and that's one of the worker placements. They're tough to teach because you usually have to explain everything, or else people won't know what to do.
You don't know where to begin.
It's why finding a good intro worker placement game is so hard.
Yeah, and so it's weird because by the end of the game, like, it's pretty big in terms of all the things you can do, but because of that, it kind of makes it a little. It's just you do like little bite-sized chunks each time.
Yeah.
And so Caverna, like, I'm kind of surprised that it's this high, but now the new expansion where you can be different races and things sounds really, and they kind of have their own abilities and maybe goals and stuff like that. I'm kind of like, oh well.
Yeah, I'm like, ooh,
maybe now I would need this game because we only play it usually at like places that have it already. Yeah. We don't own it because like, frankly, Feast for Odin's a thing, and like that replaced Caverna for me, and we own that instead. So, but now I'm like, oh, maybe there would be room enough for both if we had that expansion.
They're different, yeah. I mean,
they're very different. But anyway, Caverna Design number 87 is a game that I've quite liked a few times we played it.
Yeah, definitely, cool
replacement, can't go wrong.
Yeah, that's true.
Let's do 86, dog.
'86.
All right, my number 86 is a game all about studying fine art and trying to become the best artist you can. It is Kanagawa.
Ooh.
All right, now
it's a game that not enough people talk about.
I know it's a tragedy that's not talked about more. You know what? It's a game that's really cool because you're really trying to learn and become the best painter you can. All right, and you don't just start off great at it. So you have the studio and you have to learn some skills. It's like making an omelet. You got to crack a few eggs first.
You got to learn.
You got to learn. You know what? But you know what makes learning easier? It's the clever cracker and clever scrambler combo as seen on TV right there. Now, what you may be thinking is that, you know what? Cracking eggs is not difficult.
It's not.
Whisking is surely nothing. It's
less
not
difficult.
Slightly fatiguing. So let's add some difficulty here. I've got this clever cracker, and it incorporates 2 very sharp razor blades in the cracking process. So let's make this thing a death trap. And Nick, you have a clever scrambler which scrambles an egg inside the egg using a fine point needle.
It's like a legit needle.
Let's see if this thing works real quick. I cannot stress enough how little we've tested this thing.
Not at all.
So Nick, I believe you're supposed to stab an egg onto the end of that, and I'm going to place this in here, and then I have no idea how much force to use. But let's see if this thing's going to crack an egg real quick. You ready? Well, that did terribly.
Okay, and... I'm scrambling an egg right now. It's the needle.
Look, the egg... the separator works.
Oh, the separator works.
Yolk separators.
People, there is a needle inside this egg, and it is a whip whapping up in there, just scrambling the crap out of that egg.
This is such a good gift for kids. It's crazy.
I know, razor blades and needles.
And
so
salmonella.
This is in there doing this. You know how hard it is to whisk eggs? It's not hard at all.
So what's much easier than using either of these devices is becoming a great artist in Kanagawa. It uses a cool selection system of when to pick your actions. The longer you wait, the better stuff you might get, but someone else might take the column of actions you were hoping to get, and you're trying to build a tableau.
It didn't scramble it at all.
Oh, what?
Look at that. That's garbage.
As seen on TV, as seen in our lives. Anyway, Kanagawa is my number 86, and it's far less disappointing than the Egg Cracker.
Egg Cracker. My number 86 is something. Oh, sorry. My number 86 is all about what this just did, and that is sinning and lying.
Ooh.
And this game is Indulgence.
Oh,
Indulgence is
yeah.
a game by Restoration Games, and it is a wonderful trick-taking game. It is... probably is it's one of my favorite trick-taking games. I have a love-hate relationship with trick-taking games because we never played trick-taking games as kids. We didn't like play hearts or spades with our grandparents and like that. So I was introduced to them much, much later in like life. The main reason I kind of was hesitant towards them is because I'm not good at trick-taking games. I just suck at them. But this is one that I really, really like. And I realized that I like trick-taking games with something else going on. And this is one of those because the trick or the rules of the game change each round. So there's these things called edicts. And the edict might be don't collect any of the blue suit. Or be the one who collects the most blue suits. Or something like that. Or like don't collect any 4s or 2s. Or something like that. And so each turn, whoever is the ruler?
Yeah, the ruler.
The ruler gets to choose what the edict is. And then people, when you score points or not score points, you then have to pay them to the ruler,
yes,
which is super cool. And so it's just an interesting time, and it's constantly changing because each time it switches over, you're doing a new round of trick taking, it has a new edict. And it's just wonderful. It's great production quality. And it's just a trick taking game that has other stuff going on. I'm really bad at it, which is understandable because I'm bad at all trick taking games. But I like it a lot. It's a wonderful game, which has got just a sweet, sweet ring. And so my number 86 is Indulgence. I like it quite a bit. Another game that doesn't get played quite enough because you minimum of 3, which is a little tough.
Makes it tougher, but it's great if you can get 3 or 4 players to play.
Wonderful.
It's awesome. It's a lot of fun, and there's just cool little components, including that ring.
Yeah.
Boom. Let's get an 85.
Bang.
85.
Alrighty, 80.
You alright?
Yeah, I'm stuffed up, man.
You gotta get the Theraflu, man.
Yeah, you can tell me about that.
Any convenience store, it's so easy. Just snort
Clear
it
you
right
up
up there
a bit?
and clear you up. And
Okay.
you breathe in fine in no time. Get better sleep too.
Okay, well,
Theraflu.
thank God. Okay. Well, my number 85 is a game that I kind of avoided. I guess both of us kind of avoided like getting because it's a very cheap, small game. Because it just, the name made me think that the game sucked. And that game is, hey! That's my fish.
Oh.
This game is very cheap, very small. It's a game called Hey, That's My Fish. It's honestly, it's actually a very accurate name, but it just sounds like some kind of mass market, like Don't Wake Daddy. It sounds like one of those kind of games. So I never gave it even a look, and I think we just bought it blind because it was like $15 somewhere.
Yeah.
And it's relatively small. It's a good travel game, and it's delightful.
Yeah, we've played that game in so many airports. It's crazy.
Yes, it's our go-to airport game. Yeah. But it's a game where you're laying out all these different tiles, these hexagonal tiles, and they have different amounts of fish on them, between 1, 2, and 3. And then each person has these 2 amazing penguins that are just like, ah! And like, just real cool, real upset. And you have to move in like straight lines, and whatever you move off of, you get to take that fish. So if you move onto a 3 fish, when you move off that 3 fish, you get to pick it up.
Yeah.
So the ice islands where all these fish is, starts to like dissipate. It starts to go away. And so you can like corner people and trap people, or you can trap yourself and be like, oh, this fish is mine.
Yeah,
because then you can just
like
go and just get all the fish. And it's really strategic, and you can really like box people out and stuff. And it's a great, it's ultimately just a little abstract game.
Yeah.
But it's a really great game, and one that I guess I never gave a shot because the name just sounded mass markety and not good. And I wish I tried it earlier because it's just a delightful little game, and that is, hey! That's my fish.
My fish.
It's my fish. It's mine. What's your 85?
My number 85 might include fish stealing. I'm not sure. It depends on what kind of story you get. It's a worker placement game in which you are sometimes above ground and sometimes going below the ground. It is above and below. I'm just saying, sometimes you collect fish and
That's true. You do end up getting fish. That's true.
Maybe there's a story part where you lose your fish. It's a cool little game where you get to go down to the depths and essentially have like little encounters that happen. It has this big storybook that have just very short little stories that you tell. And you have to like quest essentially. So it's just really interesting and fun. And it's by Red Raven Games. It's a Ryan Lockett game that has just really interesting, cute art. And it's ultimately just a little worker placement game where you're trying to get points through getting different types of resources and materials or certain sort of like structures with cards. And then it's just really fun to try to do these cool stories that are just like kind of random and stuff in that game. And it's kind of a precursor to Near and Far, which is more kind of thought out and linear, like a campaign.
Yeah, it's a cohesive story. Yeah,
it tells a cohesive story and stuff. I just love Above and Below. I love like the storytelling elements. It's fun to get into it and do voices and create. Use your imagination, and then also have kind of like a fun, light worker placement game.
Yeah, really. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's just my 85. That's all I got to say on this. Above and Below, just a fun one. Great art. I love Brian Lockett and his style, so I'm in.
Nothing else to say. I love it.
That's it. I'm in.
I'm in.
What do you want? I'm in. Let's do 84. That's okay with you. You can't get the Theraflu, bro. You're falling apart.
84.
What was that?
Dude, I don't know where to aim, man.
You're aiming here. Like, what are you talking about?
I need someone in the batter box crown the plate so I know where to throw, you know?
What do you want us to do, man? There's only two of us.
I know, man. We need someone else. We need a buddy.
Oh, gosh. What are we going to do? Bullpen Buddy! Steve! Low inside, stay right, dude. Ooh, strike through your out. Mike, stop it. Don't antagonize him. Don't antagonize him. Okay. Oh, he's got shut him out. Oh, he's shut him out.
So my number 84 is all about being bad. Ooh. The more bad you are, the better off you'll be in this Disney hit Villainous.
Oh, Villainous, huh?
Yeah, man. It's, you know what? It's fun. It's just getting to play the asymmetric characters.
He fell asleep in the batter's box. Don't worry. He fell asleep.
It's so perfect. Yeah, it's just fun being able to play like the asymmetric characters.
Yeah, it's great.
Like the villains that you get to play, they're, famous characters from all the Disney movies we love, from past and present, and each of them plays totally differently. They have different cards.
I'm sorry, I guess I'm looking at it. Go ahead.
It's perfect.
They play different cards?
They all play different. They have different cards. They have different objectives to win, different things they can do, and it's just really kind of fun to explore, and I really love the art in it a lot because each game is kind of like within its own world, but there's also a kind of through line between all of the art so that it all makes sense within the game. And I'm really excited to see this game just kind of get expanded with more and more villains with different things that they do to keep exploring into the future.
Yeah.
Well, what's your 84, dude?
I see the little screen. He's getting more.
I know. That's perfect. Honestly, it's exactly the joke I was thinking for it.
I love it so much. Okay, my number 84 is the mind.
Ooh.
It is the mind. Everyone was super into the mind, and now I feel it's super cool to like hate on the mind. Don't get me wrong. I'm not sitting here saying that this game is like super like revolutionary or anything like that. No, it's just a fun little game. And it's like we played it again the other night.
Yep. And
it's always fun. I think you can, whether or not the mind is a good game or it's fun is 100% dependent on you. He just keeps getting down. And I love the mind. So the mind is a game where you have a deck of cards labeled 1 through 100, and you're around a table with the other people. It's a cooperative game, and you're just trying to put the cards down in numerical order. But like Magic Maze, you're not allowed to speak.
Right.
So you have to put them down in numerical order just off of like feeling and kind of looking at each other being like,
I feel like I have the next highest number.
And you can't talk, but like we kind of break the rule because we do a lot of like,
Yeah.
We do a lot of that kind of
Right.
stuff. Or we played recently with this gentleman, and he totally allows talking in the game, but you have to talk in like really, really weird metaphors. Being like, okay, so I'm in the grocery store. I'm like near the eggs. Like, what are you? Are you near produce or like that?
Yeah,
and
dude,
you
I'm
like
doing the impulse buys before I check out.
and it did not make the game any easier, but we were having so much fun, like thinking of different like metaphors
to explain like how long it's going to be before you can play again.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and it was so much fun. And I'm sorry, like the mind, it's just a fun game. Like again, it's nothing like people are like, oh, it's amazing. It's great, but it's like it's just a fun little game that just causes giggling and laughter, and I love it. I love it to death. I have no shame about saying it. I love the mind. It's wonderful.
I agree, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, no matter what, it's a great game experience. If anyone says like it's not like cutting edge or revolutionary, I'm like, well, but it's always a positive, fun experience.
Yeah.
I've had it with very different groups of people, and it's always been really fun. And it's always caused laughter and discussion. It's caused like feelings and stuff. Like
Yeah.
there was a group of people, we played it, and we all kind of opened up afterward and had like a really great, poignant discussion about like masculinity and femininity in the future and stuff. And it's because we played the mind.
Yeah,
And
you
it
guys
just,
are all
like,
getting
it just-
super
yeah,
in touch
man,
with each
went
other.
to the
Yeah.
heart, you know. And so yeah, I'm with you, dude. The mind should absolutely be on everyone's list.
Yeah,
I think.
I like it. I like it a lot. That's my 84. The mind.
83!
Before we begin, we just want to say that number 83 is brought to you by Father Ted. We don't understand it, but British people love
They
it.
think it's hilarious. They assure us it's funny.
They must be right.
All right, my number 83 is a game that I just looked at. Is a game that, again, like, kind of like Hero Realms earlier, talking about, like, I don't get why we don't play this game as much as we should. And that game is Seven Wonders Duel.
Oh yeah.
I really like Seven Wonders Duel a lot. It's on my list. I really love the game, but we just don't play it very much, and I'm not entirely sure why. But nonetheless, I really love the game. The game is different than Seven Wonders, but kind of it's in the same ballpark.
Yeah.
Where instead of drafting like you do in Seven Wonders, you have this big pyramid of cards, or it's a couple different shapes depending on the round. And you are taking cards from there, and then as you start revealing other cards that are behind those cards. So if you have two cards here and one card here, once you take both these cards, then this card gets revealed. And some of the cards are face up, so you know it's coming, some you don't know. And it's just this really highly strategic game of like trying to outmaneuver people by getting your engine going, like the engine of that airplane.
Jesus, are they
Wow.
right above?
We're
our
not near an
apartment?
airport.
We're not far from one, but Jesus.
But nonetheless, despite the airplanes, but there is one airplane we love. But here's the thing, despite all of that, it's a great engine builder game, and it's just really, really wonderful. There's multiple paths to victories, and I love games with multiple paths to victories. You can win 3 different ways, and it's really, really great. It's just lovely. I love it to death. It's a great game, and one we don't play as much as we should, to be completely
I
honest.
feel like for a while we played a lot of it, and then we kind of just
Yeah, we might have burned out a little bit on it.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, it's a great game. Seven Wonders Duel. Love it.
Duel. My number 83 is a party version of a game that's already kind of a party game. It's partier. It's Sushi Go Party.
Oh, I figured this would be way higher on your list.
I mean, it probably should be.
Wow.
Probably
That's a great game.
Probably I'm a terrible person for saying that. Sushi Go Party is kind of an expanded version of Sushi Go. It has all the components that you love from Sushi Go, and then just many different types of cards to kind of create more variability. But it's the same kind of drafting game.
Yeah.
With like the most amazing, cute little sushi art, and depending on the type of sushi that the cards that you're using in the game, you might have different goals. So, for like example, you might want every 2 tempura you have, you get 5 points.
Yeah.
If you get 3 sashimi, you get 10 points. But if you only get 2 or 1 sashimi, you get 0 points.
Yeah.
Or you can get nigiri, which is just like straight up points, and you're not worried about anything. You want to have the most dumplings, and there's just all sorts of variations.
Yeah.
And with Sushi Go Party, it's like there's no end to the combinations you can create. And they also give you lots of kind of like suggested combinations of cards for different types of game experiences that you want. But it's super light and fun. Everyone really enjoys it. It's something that you can teach fairly easily.
Yeah, it's great.
And with that said, no matter how new or old you are to the concept of drafting, at some point it will get messed up, and someone will end up with one more card than everyone else. Everyone else has less cards, and it's weird. It's the only thing about it. It's just like I've never played a game of Sushi Go where that has not come up at some point.
Right. Someone
No
didn't
matter
mess up the draft.
what.
Yeah, no, it's so easy.
And it's probably me that's messing up.
Drafting is the weirdest thing. It's for some reason so hard for people to grasp.
Just grab a card, put down, pass. That's all it is. But it's just like, again, it gets messed up at some point, and like I'm probably very likely the candidate. I don't know. It's so hard apparently. But
Sushi Go Party is great though.
Party is fantastic with
Yeah.
the cutest, most wonderful little art.
Love it.
It's light and fun for everyone.
Yeah.
That's my number 80 something.
3.
82.
82.
Dang.
Hey.
82.
Alrighty, 82. Mike, what is your 82, my man?
Dude, it's getting kind of bright in here.
Yeah, we got like studio lights and
I
stuff.
know, but it's like it's really bright. I'm kind of worried I'm gonna like crisp or something.
You feel like you're burning or something
yeah,
like
yeah, a
that?
little bit. You have anything that can help me kind of protect myself?
Yeah. I got this banana boat sport performance here.
Yeah, I think
we'll
I'm
pop
gonna
some of
need
this
it,
on. We'll be good to go.
Sometimes if you're white like us, dude, even inside's too bright.
It's too much. It's too
Yeah.
much.
Thanks, dude.
But this will help us out.
Okay, cool.
You feel better? You feel protected?
Yeah, dude. Did I miss any
Good.
spots?
Look right here. Yeah, that's good. You're good.
Okay. There you go. All right. So my number 82 is a game in which you're trying to become unpopular. In this one, you are trying to lose all your money, lose all your possessions, lose all of your friends, and an election all on the same day.
This is this low on your list?
It's in my top 100 games.
Erroneous.
Oh, really? We need to play it more, I think. We need to play it more.
This game, you always feel like you don't like this game until you play it, and you're like, I love
I
this game.
know. The game is prodigal.
We all have that, though. You're like, I don't really think I like this game. Then after you play it, you're like, I like this game.
The game is a prodigals club, and I think that's part of it. It's like I'll bet you that it should be higher on my list.
Yeah.
When we were prepping to do this, I was
Honestly,
looking at it, I was kind of like, oh,
My 82 is very similar, so don't worry about it.
yeah. So it's one of those games that I do like. I always think that I don't like it as much as I do. It's kind of a sequel to Last Will, or
Yes.
kind of an expansion on that idea where you're just
it's-
trying to like be the worst,
Being the biggest.
which is such a fun theme for
Oh,
a
it's
game.
the best.
You know, and this one, it's really cool because there's just like 3 modules. Again, there's an election you're trying to lose. You're trying to go down in all these social circles, and you're trying to lose all your money and possessions.
Yeah.
And you can play with just 2 of the 3 or all 3 if you want. And it's kind of like a worker placement action
worker placement,
selection game that is just, it really is a lot to think about.
Yeah, it's tough.
You don't think you have to work so hard to be so terrible, but you do.
At a lot of CGE, kind of like their heavier Euro games, they're very fun themes, kind of like Dungeon Pets or something like that. But they're thinky, man. It hurt. They hurt the dome.
Yeah, but it's just a really fun game that probably if you played more. We played it recently, and I was like, oh man, I really do like this game. And it is always sort of like I remember that I really like it a lot.
Yeah.
And I don't know why so far it hasn't stuck in my head that I really like
it's
it.
fine.
Just one of those things. But it is a great game, and I'm looking forward to playing it more. So Prodigals Club is my number 82.
My number 82 is actually kind of the opposite. This is a game I always think I like more than I do. And obviously I like it. It's in my 80s,
Okay.
my low 80s.
Interesting
That
start.
game is Champions of Midgard. I love Champions of Midgard. Don't get me wrong. I like it a lot, but I always think it's like
Hater alert.
like top 15 contender, and it's not. As I was doing this list, it kept going down and down and down, and I like the game a lot, but it's a really wonderful worker placement game. You're going to see, again, a lot of worker placement game, but it's dice chucking and stuff, and it's one of those games that, like, every time I'm playing it, I'm like, I don't really know why I don't like this more than I do, but for some reason, it's just, it's great. It's just not as high as I think it's going to be, but it's a great game where you're going out fighting monsters and you're going placing your workers and you're getting like food and you're getting wood, but also what you're getting warriors, and your warriors are represented by these different dice. There's like spear people and axe people and like bow people, and there's a couple different expansions that are great. And then you use these dice to go fight monsters, but then they die because they're warriors, and it's just a really wonderful game, especially if you have Valhalla and the Dark Mountains, which are the
Yes.
2 expansions, especially Valhalla. Man, it's just great. It's a really, really wonderful game that I do like quite a bit. I'm always just surprised that it's not a little higher on my list. But, that's just how it is. That's why I like these lists. You kind of like, I like that game a lot more than I did. You're like, oh, I don't like that game quite as much as I thought I did.
But then, like, that's the funny thing is we always think of that and we think, like, oh, well, it's not that good a game. It's
No,
just like,
it's
well, when
wonderful.
you played, 300-400 board games probably in your life,
yeah.
it's like, it's pretty highly rated.
Yeah,
like,
it's
a good one.
It's great. Don't get me wrong. So I love Champions of Midgard, and that is going to be my number 82.
Nice. Let's do 81. Can I get a towel?
Seriously.
81.
All right, number 81. Number 81 for me is a game that I don't entirely know how to pronounce, and that's Kolezhka. Kolezhka is also known as Q.
Oh. I was like, what?
Koleżka is a Polish game, but it's a game
Sounds
called...
pretty Polish.
Yes, it does. It's a game called Q, if you're playing it in the American version. And so Q is a game that this gentleman named Marty, who's part of our game group, introduced to us. And it's a game where you're in like, I think, Great Depression era Poland?
Yeah.
Like, so everyone's real poor. And you're essentially queuing up, you're getting in lines to try to get different supplies. There's like clothes, there's foods, there's like furniture and like little appliances and stuff like that. And each person has a card that says how much of each thing they need. Like, I need 3 clothes, 2 food, 1 this, and Mike might need 4 canned food, 2 clothes, and so it's all different. And you have these meeples, and you're putting them in a line, and then you're playing cards, and the cards manipulate the line. Like, you can take the line and turn it around, or you can like move yourself up 2 spots in line.
You can close the shop, so it's like no one
close
gets
shop
anything.
so no one gets anything and stuff. And then on top of that, the resources that go to these different stores around the board are all kind of randomized. So you don't really know what's going to come out, but there's a card where you can peek on so you know what's coming out. And it's like kind of a really mean game, but a mean game where you don't ever get mad at anybody. It's just kind of like fun and stuff. But it's really interesting trying to get, because like in the line, like if I'm going to get clothes and there's only 3 clothes cards in there, only the people who are first, second, and third in line get the clothes, because that's all the supply they have. And it kind of represents like all these people are trying to get these things and they have like none of it, you know? And so you're trying to turn around the line or jump ahead in line or do all this stuff so that you're one of the people who gets some of the supplies that you need. And it's really fun and really, really a kind of trickstery, and you're just messing people up and stuff, and it's a great time. I actually really, really enjoy it. It's really hard to get. I don't think it's in print. I don't even know where you'd go to get this one, but our friend Marty has it, and so we get to play it every once in a while. But Koleżka, or Q, is my number 81. I actually like it quite a bit.
That's awesome. It is a fun game.
Yeah,
I'll
it's
play
fun
it again,
times.
for sure. My number 81 is all about spell slinging and controlling different areas, and it uses a really interesting system for like learning magic. And there's all these different areas of magic. It is Archmage.
Oh, okay.
My number 81.
Ooh, brand new. Got that hotness on here, huh?
Hotness. And it's just interesting. Like, it's just an area control game ultimately, and you are kind of going around and discovering the board, finding different wilderness areas that are going to give you relics in various areas of magic. There's things like nature and will and death. You can learn death magic and blood magic. And it's really cool. So if you can get like basically followers that you accrue, you can train them in different areas of magic to get access to certain types of spells.
Yeah.
But then you can have 2 different people, you know, someone who's good in death magic, someone who's good in blood magic. You can have them duel to get kind of a hybrid spell that uses death and blood, and you get a more powerful spell, but it's also more expensive essentially to use because everything's based on these relics, and it's kind of resource management in that way. So it's just a really interesting game in the way that the different spells work, and thematically how they tie to the type of magic it is, if it's nature magic, and you're ultimately trying to get control over the different types of areas, you know, all the nature tiles or all of the matter tiles and things like that. And it's just one that I've really enjoyed exploring, and I want to continue to explore to see like what's best. Is it better to have a bunch of low-level spells? Is it better to have just a few powerful spells because they cost a lot to use and you lose
more points at the end of the game?
Right. And so it's like, and the points are precious because you're only going to end up with like 18, 20 points.
It's a low-scoring game,
Yeah, so it's just this game that I've really been enjoying exploring. It's really beautiful and vibrant, and the little player boards you have all these spheres, kind of like the sacred geometry-looking thing, where there's all these different colors that then kind of make Venn diagrams and overlap, and so it's just a beautiful, vibrant,
gorgeous,
really cool player board with interesting area control. And I feel like we're just scratching the surface on how best to play. So I want to continue to explore that.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, I don't think it's on my list, because when we made this list, we hadn't played it enough. Yeah. Now since then, we've played it, I think, 2 more times. And now I'm like, oh, it would have been on the list. I really like the game. It's just when we made the list, we hadn't played it enough for it to make my list. But I really like Archmage a lot. And it's a game where we were talking about it with Crookie, because we were playing with our good friend Crookie Brookie. And that's a game that's so expandable. Because all you need to do is just give everyone new spells. Yeah. Like, you don't need to change the board or the way spells work in any way. Just give, like, here's 18 new spells. Cool. Here's 18 new spells. Cool. Here's 18 new spells. And you can make the game infinitely interesting that way. And I think I love it. I think it's a great game.
Yeah. It's just really fun, and one is I think could use even more exploring.
Yeah.
And so that's my number 81.
81. That is another 10 down, my people. Thank you so much for being here with us. If you're enjoying what you're watching, please feel free to go over to our YouTube channel, which is just the Brothers Murph. We put up top 10s and stuff all the time. We do our own videos. Please feel free to check us out on Twitch.
Yeah, come watch us live stream and suggest any of the games that you liked and that we were talking about. If you want to see us play them live, go ahead and throw a comment below saying, hey, go play that for us, and we'll play it for you.
Yeah, indeed. Thank you so much. And I guess we'll see you in the next 10, huh?
See you in the next 10. Cheers, everybody. Bye-bye.
Peace. Here's a little bonus for after the video. Fun fact. This is all that's left of my bike that I left here. It's one tire. I'm glad they left me that. But here I got 2 locks. Both cut. In LA fun.